Hello, read it here. Today we're going to read a story from /Am I the Asshole? Now, for our first story, am I the asshole for not taking down my video that was a gift from my best man? I have a sister that's 6 years older than me. My parents for years cancel on me last minute because of my sister. I have a basketball game. Ops sorry sister doesn't feel like going out. I am graduating. Ops sorry sister had a bad day at work. They have missed both major and smaller events in my life because of her meltdowns. I met the love of my life. We decided to tie the knot. From the beginning, I told my parents how I am worried my sister will ruin another special moment in my life. My mom told me over and over again it would not happen. The day of my wedding, I received a voicemail from my mom saying they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick and she was upset. I was hurt. My best man, however, is a jokester. He took my phone, then went to my fiancé and asked if he could post a video of our wedding as a gift on social media. She loved his idea. I had no idea about it until I came home. Our honeymoon was at a lakeside cabin. No cell service. The post caption was, "My best friend. He is an amazing person, even if his parents never showed up for him." Video was still pictures of us next to her parents, me on the dance floor cutting the cake, where you would normally see both parents in wedding pictures. The sound behind the video was my mom's voicemail explaining how they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick. I came home a week later to hundreds of messages. Family members from both sides insisting I take it down. I was told my sister hasn't stopped crying. My mom is refusing to leave the house. I may be the A here. I didn't take it down when I got my messages. I didn't call my family back right away. I waited until my vacation time was over at work and enjoyed my time with my wife. In our new home, before I contacted anyone, my dad told me to take down the video. It was just a bad night for them. That they will make it up to me and my wife for not coming. My reply was exactly, how do you plan to make up my wedding? It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You choose to ignore my feeling on the whole matter. Then he just repeated he will make it up to me. I told him I would take down the video only when he made up missing my wedding. Flustered, we both hung up the phone before we both said things we shouldn't have. Am I the asshole here? I could have just taken down the video. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Your friend is the true MVP in this story. OP, keep that video up until the end of time. Your parents need to be reminded just how much they failed you and favored your sister. Your family doesn't like it. Lucky for you, you just married into a new one. Not the asshole. Comment 2. Right? Look, I'm very thoroughly an animal lover. Many pets of various species, pet sitter, fosterer, etc. If my parents even hinted at skipping an event for my siblings because I was sad/dealing with a pet, I would be livid and kick them out to go support my sibling. I'd really love to see how old sister is. But honestly, even if she's 4, why couldn't one parent stay with her and the other attend? If she's an adult, serious side-eye to the parents who raised and enabled her into this level of self-absorption. It's also very interesting how she's suddenly in need of attention for OP's every milestone. Comment 3. OP said the sister is 6 years older than him. Given he mentioned graduations and just got married, it's probably safe to assume he's somewhere in his mid-ish to late 20s. So sister's late 20s if not early to mid-30s. Comment 4. OP should stick to his word and take the video down when the parents make it up to him for missing his wedding. I'm pretty sure that's going to be impossible, and I'm not sure I can think of anything that would actually make up for it. But his father seems to think it's doable, so he should be perfectly fine with it. Now, for our second story. Am I the asshole for making a dad joke? No. My stepdaughter, Madeline, was about a year old when I married her mother, Jessica. Madeline's father died before she was born. Madeline is currently 15, and she's rebelling for almost everything. She did something bad, so while picking her up, I set a punishment up for her. Then she said, "You're not my dad. I don't have to follow you." Honestly, I got a bit hurt from that, but I understand that she didn't mean it, and that she'd probably change. I just replied, "I'm still your legal guardian for the next 3 years, and as long as you're in my house, you have to follow my rules." That happened about 2 days ago. So our family was going grocery shopping when Madeline said, "I'm hungry. I need food." I decided to be extremely cheeky and say, "Hi, hungry. I'm not your dad." My son just started to laugh uncontrollably. My daughter was just quiet with embarrassment, and my wife was berating me not to stoop down to her level. I honestly thought it was a funny dad joke, and my son agrees. So AITA? Edit. I did adopt her. So legally, I am her parent. Mini update. I'll probably give a full update later, but here is what happened so far. I go to my daughter's room after dinner and begin talking with her. Hey, I'm really sorry that I hurt you by the words I said. And I am really your dad. I changed your diapers, I met your boyfriend, and I plan on helping you through college. And plus, I'm legally your dad, so we're stuck together. But seriously, I'm gonna love you like my daughter even if you don't think I'm your dad. Then I hugged her. She did start to cry. I assume that's good. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. My dad disappeared when I was 3. I had a few phone calls with the mystery man 17 years later, and then he dropped off the face of the earth again. About 10 years later, I get the call that he died. A few days after, while I'm taking care of all the paperwork because I'm next of kin, I go out to dinner with my boyfriend and a friend, and we're talking about it. The server expresses her condolences, and later, before she brings the check, she asks if there's anything else she can get us. My boyfriend said, yeah, a father figure. I called him an asshole, not for the joke, but because he made that poor server so fucking uncomfortable, lol. He's pretty good at making light of terrible situations when he knows he's in the company of people who actually feel better hearing those jokes. The server got a really good tip, lol. Comment 2. I think I would have laughed. I was 20 when I gave birth to my daughter, and I was not married. This is when people still tried to make it a scandal. We continued to live with my folks and my 2 younger sibs who were in high school. One thing we loved to do was sing. Anytime, anywhere, anything, it didn't matter. Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA had come out about this time. So, here we are, singing I'm on Fire. My daughter in her little bouncy seat, happy as a clam. We had just sung the first line, "Hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone?" And my mom hears it. Don't you dare sing that song. She doesn't need to know. She doesn't have a father. Hold for one beat, and we started howling. Mom is sweet, and that's just a mom kind of thing that she did. And to this day, she hates that song. If nothing else, that girl loves her some Springsteen. Comment 3. I'm genuinely not trying to be a downer here. I just want to know the answer, so please don't downvote me to fucking 9,000 just for asking, but is there not just one layer? Like, isn't it just a pun on faux pas? Like, the joke was a faux pas, and he's her faux pas? This guy got 20-something awards and countless comments saying he won Reddit and acting shook for making a single pun? Is that normal on Reddit? Or am I missing a layer or two? Please send help. Comment 4. I would say that you are only wrong because you never reaffirmed that you are her real dad. My kids were adopted, and when they were little, I asked a few parents of older adopted kids how they handled this dreaded phrase. One of them said that it is important to not overreact with anger or saddest. That just confirms their worst fear, that you believe what they said. He said to instead either say something like, "But you're still my real son/daughter, so unfortunately you still have to listen to me," or make a joke. With one of his kids, he said, "So am I imaginary? Quick, click your heels together 3 times, and if I disappear, then you are right. If not, then I'm real." I don't think you are the asshole, and neither of my teens have used this phrase, but I would try to make sure she knows you don't actually believe that you aren't her real dad. I think the dad joke would have been okay if you didn't use the "I'm your legal guardian" line earlier. You are her dad. Let her know that you know that, and nothing she can say will change that. Now, for our third story. Am I the asshole for bringing up my brother's premature birth at Christmas dinner to get my parents to shut up? I am a nurse practitioner, and I am the primary care provider for a lot of the low-risk maternity cases at the practice where I work. I also work hand in hand with the doctors and midwives to create a healthy maternity, birth, and postpartum situation. My fiancée is completing her residency. We live together and have for a few years now. We aren't in any hurry to get married. We originally had plans to do so a couple of years ago, but then we got really busy for 2 years. It is driving my very religious parents crazy that their youngest son is living in sin. I don't really care. I'm an adult, and I do what I want. We are getting married in June, so we are visiting my parents for Christmas. The way it came together this year, everyone is at my parents' house. So that's my folks, my 3 siblings, myself, and fiancé, and 7 grandchildren. So 17 people. At dinner, my mom starts going on about how she is so glad that we are finally getting married and she won't be embarrassed at church anymore. And my dad says how proud he is of his 3 older kids who all either waited to get married before moving in together or got married right away after moving in together. My fiancé was getting embarrassed and I was getting mad over this stupid argument we have had too many times. And a family dinner was the last straw. I have asked them repeatedly to just accept that they cannot control how I live my life. I refuse to stay with them when I visit, even if I come alone. Hotels are just easier. So I started talking about a premature baby I had been reading about. It was almost 3 months premature and weighed about 1.6 pounds. It was super strong and healthy for being born so little, and the NICU had high hopes for the baby doing well. My mom and dad both got deer in the headlights looks on their faces. Too bad. Should not have fucked around with my fiancé's feelings. So I asked about my oldest brother. He was born almost 4 months premature. Is there a chance that we could check out the family album where we keep all the records of family births and stuff? I already know my brother was over 9 pounds and almost 23-inch long when he was born. My grandmother told me all about it the first time my parents tried to shame me. The subject gets changed very fast. After supper, my parents told me that I should not try to embarrass them with private things that are not my concern. I told them that if I heard anything about my living arrangements ever again for the rest of my life, I would make sure to keep bringing up the fact that my mom was in her 2nd trimester when they got married. My parents are mad at me for telling them how to behave in their own home. But my fiancé is happy that they seem to be off the subject for good. Am I the asshole? Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1, not the asshole. That was beautifully handled. You didn't call them out and embarrass them, but you stood your ground. I did laugh out loud when you said where you got your blackmail information. Grandma had that in her pocket for a long time, I'm guessing. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding. Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a great new year. Comment 2, not the asshole OP. You asked politely. They persisted in their vocal rudeness. You had to take a stronger measure. You did it with finesse, which got your point across and achieved your goal, which seems almost a Christmas miracle given their hypocrisy and lack of manners and self-awareness. Thanks to Grandma, your parents got run over by the reindeer of truth at Christmas dinner. Hallelujah. Comment 3. First of all, not the asshole. I agree with everyone who has applauded you on shutting down the bullying skillfully. Secondly, the phrase run over by the reindeer of truth has brought me so much joy this morning. It will become part of my lexicon. Thank you. Comment 4. Remember that first baby can come anytime after marriage. The rest take 9 months. It's a saying generally in relation to births like your brother, where a very big and healthy premature baby is born shortly after marriage. No one is fooled, they are just polite enough to not mention anything. Now, for our 4th story. Am I the asshole for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? I am a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My co-workers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff. Like literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot like how sad. So you have to be a grown-ass man, taking your anger out on high school and college kids. So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we don't make the coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. So James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too. So he was just like, "OP, this is unacceptable, you're fired." I started acting real sad, like, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs the money, I need this job, please." And he played up being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave. The angry guy started to backtrack, like, "It isn't that big of a problem. You don't need to fire her over it." I didn't mean it. And James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting. And we've done it a couple times. Whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. And almost every time, the person who had come in angry will apologize and say that they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying, making people realize their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking they'd gotten someone who desperately needs the money fired. Am I the asshole for this joke? Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Not the asshole, that's a perfect way of dealing with hostile customers. Comment 2. I disagree. Just like giving a kid a cookie when they throw a temper tantrum simply reinforces that behavior. Rewarding customers when they explode teaches them that ranting and raving gets results. So they'll show up to another store or restaurant. Something will tick them off and they'll blow up again, expecting employees to also bend over backwards. Or I won't hesitate to have you fired. I've done it before. Comment 3. To be honest, I'm surprised more of these rude customers aren't satisfied with the firing. I think it'd be even funnier if they were happy with it, and then they came back, only to see OP still working there. The potential explanations of, oh, that was my twin brother, but now it's my job to support my dying mother and 6 siblings, would be hilarious. Comment 4. Was at a local grocery store a few months ago, and this guy, 50-55, comes storming up to the customer service desk and chews out the clerk, who can't have been much older than 16, about some mix-up at the meat department. The girl handles it well, explaining that she will do her best to figure out what happened. This irritated the man more, and he ranted about why she doesn't already know the issue. I got fed up watching this and said, "She isn't a mind reader, sir." He glared at me, and I just kept eye contact until he broke it. He walked away, and the girl just said, "Thank you." The service industry sucks, and I abhor the customer is always right mentality, because they are not always right. The entitlement I experienced working as a server was terrible, and I wish I could have come up with something more scathing for this grocery store man, but confrontation is not one of my strengths. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more.